All right. Welcome back, guys. It's Sean with Blue Ridge Silverhound. We got the Monday market report for the week ending July 13, 2025. Boy, this month is flying right on by, right? So we got another edition here. Florida Fun Show has officially wrapped up, and we got some. We have what I would say is a really healthy mix of coins here on the MMR, featuring all of your greatest and favorite post 1900 modern era of graded coins. This is normally what we talk about in this video. Been doing it for a long time now, logging in nearly 400 total Monday market report videos. That's a lot. So we're going to be taking a look here at some of the notables from great collections here last week. A lot of big ones, boy. Great to see a marquee matchup, a lineup of coins that we could all really gloss over here. So we'll take a look at these here momentarily. Quick little shout out to our channel sponsor, Whatnot. If you have not joined the biggest live social media auction platform today, now's your chance. What are you waiting for? We got the QR code right on screen there. Sign up under me. You get $15 off your very first item that you purchase on the platform. This thing is going off like gangbusters, and it's not slowing down anytime soon. Come join in the newest and fastest growing thing that we have seen in quite a while. This is truly going to be a game changer. You guys can also sign up using the links down below in the description box and pinned to the comments section of this video. All right, so we're going to go ahead and bounce right in here. We have a healthy amount of registry caliber coins on the list. A fair amount because, we're back in business. We don't have a big national show going on, so Great Collections is pushing out their best. 2005 Lincoln Memorial Cent. Coming up first on the list, this one showing up as what they call a satin finish. This is not your garden variety Lincoln cent. This is a coin that can only be found in mint sets during the mid and later 2000s, where they produced every single coin with a satin finish. And it's going to be the only place where you could find these coins. Now, a lot of these are generally very well struck and created to the highest quality of standards. So you would expect very high grades to come from these. Now, a perfect 70 is still a little bit of a chore to reach if that you are trying to hit that on a lot of these coins. This one right here is in a perfect 70 grade according to the Sheldon scale of grading standards. 70 is the highest grade that you can achieve on any coin through some of the grading services out there. Like this one is by PCGS. It says satin finish right on the label, and this one ended up selling for $1,040.62. Keeping in mind that's more or less the cap on these. They produced satin finish coins, I believe, from '05 all the way up to either 2009 or 2010. So with that being said, a lot of them have been graded. There are a fair amount of these satin finish coins, regardless of denomination, that have all hit 70 grades. So, glad to see this one here and to help kind of tell the story of where the market currently resides on these. They're not like earth-shattering, but at the same time, you guys understand that if you were going to grade these for yourself, just understand what kind of rewards you would expect. The rewards at this point, nothing too glamorous. You can't really retire off of this kind of money, but just to let you know. Next one that we have here, we have a good little run of 1980s and 1990s Lincoln cents on this list. Here's the 1993 D. Lincoln Memorial, top grade, Mint State 69 red. This one, however, was graded by NGC. Some would say that NGC doesn't even hold a candle to PCGS when it comes to the registry set. However, there are folks that are buying NGC top census coins to add to their PCGS, I guess, registry sets. So these are going to have a home. And since they're the top grade, they have more relevancy than we first realized here. So this one ended up selling here this weekend for $1,912.50. Just showing that there is still quite a bit of value here on these pieces. And there are so few pieces, by the way, coming from the 80s and 90s that did grade out a perfect 70. And that's regardless of whatever grading company that you are researching under, whether it's PCGS or NGC. Very few have hit that 70 mark, and to this day, that's still going to be a tall order for anyone brave enough to jump into this sector of numismatics. Next one that we have here, 1992D. So, just 1 year removed from the previous coin. A lot of the scratches that you see on here is going to be on the plastic holder, not on the actual coin. This particular one coming in also as a 69 red through NGC. Nice top pop grade here. Selling for $1,857.38. Made and tailored for registry sets. And I will say this, but not as financial advice. These things are not investable, in my humble opinion. If you're going to go out and buy coins and not participate in a registry set, these would be a poor choice. There are a lot better options out there in today's market, especially buying like pre-1933 gold. If you're looking to spend thousands of dollars, that's going to be more of a power play than buying into these here. We also have a 91D, in consecutive form here. 91, 92, 93 all showing up here this week. Kind of neat. This one, however, PCGS this time around graded this one in a 69 red. So I'm willing to bet that this one will have better props on the secondary market, and it sure did. This one, by the way, hammering at a very toasty $4,187.25. This coin was hot all week long as registry set participants were looking for coins like this. And these will still have a very important relevancy to those sets. And that's we're going to see that even on 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s coins as well. 1987 Lincoln Memorial Cent. This is one that we've seen here on the list a few times in a 69 red. It's got actually a very deep population count for a 69 red. So you would think it would be rare, but not really. There's quite a few of them out there that if you were targeting a high-end piece for a registry, this would be probably one of the more obtainable dates out there. So PCGS again, with the credit on the grading for this particular specimen, selling for $2,805.75 here this week. We also have a 1984D. It's not a prototypical date that we see pop up with any regularity, but this one, one of the standouts for the week, grading at a very, very nice mid-state 68 plus red. All right, so it's close. But you can even kind of tell, even with that half a point grade difference between this one and a 69, you could see a few of the things that probably held it back a little bit. There's a little contact mark right on Lincoln's head right there. That's pretty easy to see. Along with some irregularity in the overall plancha quality on this one. You would think it would look like stains, especially there on the obverse. But, that was more par for the course on these. So this one right here, big time sale, $4,050. The further back you go in age, and with these lofty numerical grades, that's just going to keep these very, very expensive. And not only that, the populations and census is really light on these at the top end of the mark. Here you go. Great variety, on here for a different reason other than the grade. This one has a lot going for it. And the big reason why is that this was a former Stuart Blay red copper collection piece. that ended up selling yet again here a few years after the big monumental sale back in 2022. This was one of the good varieties of that particular collection. This one, the FS 101 doubled die obverse. You can see just everything that makes up this variety on the front of the coin. PCGS gave this one a 67 plus red. CAC also gave it its blessing as well with a green bean. And we've talked about this one before, back when we were doing some pretty heavy coverage of the Stuart Blake collection as it was being sold. We talked about this piece here, and now it's kind of like coming full circle. The owner of this one decided it was time to move on, so they consigned it back with great collections. So this one right here, $8,831.25 was your finale on there, and glad to see this one come back. But I'm willing to bet it's going to end up socked up in a collection for a really long time. 1962D Lincoln Memorial Set used to be a coin of quite the folklore out there. 67 used to be the top grade of this one about 13 years ago. And we were covering this one as well. The amount of money that this coin sold for today was exactly how much it sold for about a dozen years ago. But the only difference today is that you need to have that plus designation on your numerical grade. 67 is no longer the best grade for this coin. You have to be a 67 plus red all day long for it to be a meaningful coin for the secondary market. PCGS grading this one, 62D, sold for $4,725. So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy, what a dozen years can do to the value of a coin. A regular 62D and a mid-state 67, I believe, is right around $800 to $1,000 today. So when I say that these are not investable for that long-term hold, I am telling you that because I love you guys, and you certainly do not want to be left holding this bag. It's just way too expensive of an arena of coins to invest in. That if we're looking for long term, this is certainly not one of them. 51D over S. We haven't covered one of these in a long time, and yet we have this amazing piece pop up here on Great Collections this last week. This one is the Overmint Mark FS 511, a great cherry picker's guide variety. I found a ton of these, but I couldn't exactly lay claim to one that grades out as 67 plus red. And this one has even got a cat green sticker as well. So it's certified with them to a great degree. So this one here ended up selling for $2,380.50. Another great looking coin for this week. And one I'm glad that we were at least able to cover. Because these just don't show up. They have to be at a specific grade to really make them, like a big time coin for the market. All right, so if you think you guys are going to be disappointed at nickels, think again. The competitive nature these last few weeks of Lincoln cents versus Jefferson nickels has been getting very close here. We're seeing possibly like a mini revival of sorts of, I guess, the second best U.S. type coin by denomination, and that's this one here. Coming up first is the 1959 Philly Jefferson nickel. A little bit of a tough date here with full steps. This one hammered it home pretty well in a 67 5FS, so it has at least 5 of those lines on the steps uninterrupted going all the way across. NGC graded this one, and they're really the only one that grades with 5 or 6 full steps, where the premium is variable between one and the other. They'll let you know. So this particular one here ended up selling for $1,183.37. Pretty good sale there. We also have a 1954S. I'm gonna call it. This is a rarity with full steps. Like the 53S is as well, and that's that. Call that in a vacuum. All of the 1950s coins, maybe the 50D and 51, might be outliers because those, typically come pretty well struck. So the 54S here, NGC graded as a 66, and it has 5 full steps according to them. I personally would love to see the coin in hand before making that kind of assessment, because looking at these, it doesn't look like it has full steps. But in any event, nice solid sale here. $5,906.25 is a pretty big stack of cash for a nickel. And we've seen this before. We have chronicled some really big time yet underwhelming Jefferson nickels, that hit that $5,000 to $10,000 mark. And guess what? It's not done yet. We got more to cover here. 1941S, another beauty here. Luster is just generally very strong on this one, as is the strike. This one, PCGS gave a mid-state 67 plus. Full steps. Nice, beautiful coin, but it does show, some of its faults for that time. The planchet nicks are quite noticeable on a lot of these. So this one's selling for $3,150. Another great sale, giving, nickels a little bit of the nod this week. One of my favorites, the 39S. A very tough one here because this has the reverse of 1938. It's got the old antiquated regular design of Monticello. So it's got the just a cruder, I guess, artistic quality of the building on this particular one. The steps are wavy, is what they call it. And it is a tougher reverse type on a lot of the earlier dates. Anything pre-41. PCGS gave this one to 67 plus full steps, which is huge on this one. A scarce die pairing type. And because of that, this one ended at $13,825.12. Marvelous in the sense that we haven't seen a good Jefferson nickel sell for that kind of money in a long while. And then now here we are. Again, this could all kind of go away here in the next month or so. And the fact that this is even popping up in the dead heat of summer, during a time where you would think that collectors and dealers, would be out, gallivanting around across the country and vacationing. I was more than surprised that something like this would pop up. This one just feels like a fall time kind of coin for the market. But nonetheless, well done there. 1924D, talk about one of your tough date Buffalo nickels. We got one here. PCGS gave this one a 65 plus, fits it every last bit. CAC certified as well. Impressive date, and we all know that these branch mint 1920s Buffaloes are crap. They're crap, and they're low minted crap. So when you put both of them together, it really represents a very challenging little mini date range here. Of just trying to find quality, that beats everything else you've seen. So this one here sold for $5,625. So case in point there, a nice hefty price tag, as you would expect for a mid-20s coin. 1915D, beautiful original toned OG date, from the teens. They're all particularly very well struck, and this one probably has really good luster all underneath all of this thick toning that it represents here. Older PCGS grade in a 66, probably from about 15 years ago, based off of the label design there. And this one sold for $4,264.88. We're skipping over Roosevelt dimes. For once, no Roosevelt dimes this week, and they've been performing quite admirably here the last, I would say, 3 months. So we got a 1930S Mercury dime. Tougher date on its face. Surprisingly, this one did not get full split bands. It looked pretty close. And I could see kind of where, what's holding it back a little bit. PCGS Mid-State 67, CAC certified as well. All the meaningful stuff on Great Coin. I'm not a particular fan of this toning here. It's very splotchy, and the color really does not have the opportunity to shine with any of these type of toning. I don't know, patterns, I suppose. So this one here, $2,269.11 was a sale. Well, we also have a 35S. Again, a mid-30s, a little bit tougher dated coin here compared to anything from the 40s. 67 full bands by PCGS on this one. And it ended up garnering $1,406.25 in proceeds for the sale. Okay. Now we got a few quarters, and we're going to end things off here on a number of impressive inclusions. You guys are going to be absolutely floored by what I have for you. But first, the latest date Washington quarter to make the list was a 1934, and this is the heavy motto type. So in God We Trust is thicker letters on there. This one is a mid-state 67 with a little bit of that kind of splattery kind of like paint effect toning on there, which some people do like. I'm okay with it. Definitely shows its originality as a coin that probably was never dipped at any point in its life. Selling for $1,752.75. We also have Standing Liberty quarters, and we got probably all the best ones here of the week. 1930S, the final date of this design. And what we're seeing here is probably just a retesting of the market for Standing Liberty quarters, and it passed the sniffer test all across the board. This one here in a very gigantic mid-state 67 with full head, so it's got the full strike there on the obverse. This one coming in at $7,366.50. Strong sale for otherwise common date SLQ. Another common one here, 1929, showing a much better strike, and probably not the cleanest looking coin compared to the 30S we looked at, because this one graded 65 with full head, CAC certified as well, and this one ended at $3,037.50. Good coin there. 1920, right off the cuff, it's just a Philadelphia coin, and I say that with the most amount of love possible, because the earlier Philadelphia coins that's not a 1917 or 1918, boy, they kind of suffer all the same fate as the Denver and San Francisco coins during that same little time period. Not the best quality in some cases. You're still left with less than desirable plancha quality before the strike. So, it's great to see an original classic like this one that's just been preserved at the highest state for the longest time. And, that's a tall order. This one, mid-state 67 full head. One of the big ones, I would say the biggest coin of the week at $29,250. That kind of money would cure a lot of woes in today's world. So, yeah. And for it to go all into one quarter, yeah, pretty miraculous. 1916, the date that tend to forget and drop from people's minds, because it's the first year of the Standing Liberty quarter, and they only made 52,000 pieces. So just for argument's sake, probably 96-97% of them are not mid-state. So when a mid-state version comes up into the market, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be gunning for it. So yeah, that's this one right here, ladies and gents. NGC gave this one a 64 full head, and I'm fine with that. It looks every bit of a 64. and a full head is fine. Yeah, they're usually well struck anyways. $18,861.75 was the total on this one. And this one probably looks familiar because we did a shorts video on this back on Saturday, I believe, where it had 19 hours left and it was bid up to $8,000. Okay, so let's kind of talk through this one. 1970D Candy Half Dollar, only available as a collector item in mid sets. Same way with the 70S Proof. You can only get that in the Proof set. So this was the uncirculated business strike type that never made it to mainstream circulation because they were just made as a collector item. So I'm going to guess that probably this one was pulled out of a mid set and then put into an older album. And it developed this beautiful rainbow tone kind of deal on this, on both sides of the coin. And I think that's probably what gave this one all of the aesthetic appeal in the world. And look at the grade, 67 plus by PCGS. It's got a gold QA sticker, which is the modern equivalent to CAC grading or CAC certification. So this one is a beauty. Now, you guys are probably interested in knowing what this one ended up selling for in the very end of the auction last night. Since it was at $18,000 or $8,000 rather on Saturday night, okay, I'm happy to report that this one ended up hammering for $23,175. Way more than I would imagine, because my initial estimate was like, $10,000 to $12,000 maybe. And again, that's all due to the grade and eye appeal and the QA sticker as well. So there you go. Quite frankly, the most shocking coin, I would say so far this summer. Because if you're going to go out there and just buy a Blast White out of a mid set 1970D, it's going to set you back about $8 to $10. So there's a lot more in addition to just the tougher date that's going on here. And the final coin, a little ode to my wife, 1977 Eisenhower dollar. We call this one like the mint julep. It's got a beautiful, very light green toning all throughout the coin. This one comes in PCGS Mid-State 67 plus, CAC certified as well. It is indeed a top pop. And I can't stress this enough, how very tough it is to earn this kind of numerical grade on an Ike dollar, because these things are literal large target bullseyes, for any sort of contact mark that you could think of. This thing, would soak that all up. And a lot of these were in like bank bags and things. So yeah, they had a hard life, even in high grades, and nobody really ever spent them. So a 67 plus is a real treat here. And one in which probably will go into a registry set, an investor coin. It's CAC certified. It's got everything. So as kind of the final coin of the Monday market report, this one totaled $9,282.38 to round out the Monday market report. As you can tell, I was like choking because I was like, man, this is such a big coin and so much money for an Ike dollar that, want to let you know that these do come up at that kind of dollar value on occasion. It takes the right coin. A couple other ones that come to mind, 1973 and 73D are two other tough dates. 1976 Philly Type 1 reverse is a huge one. That one in 67, I guarantee you, is easily $10,000 to $15,000 all day long. So, I mean, there are a few coins that hit that 5-figure meniscus throughout the series. And, as short of a series it is, because it only spanned like 6 years, it's got a lot going for it. Could we see Ike dollars gain in popularity over the years? I would say yeah. And, depending on how the precious metal market kind of like ebbs and flows. If we see silver jump to $100 or higher, that's going to put Morgan and Peace dollars out of the affordability range for a lot of folks. So where does that leave us? Like dollars. Unfortunately, me personally, I like the series. It's not my typical favorite, but I did grow up with a few of these. So yeah, a great way to kind of end things off here is on this one. So that's going to wrap things up for the week. Keep in mind the info provided in this video is for educational use only, not financial advice. Please collect and or grade your coins responsibly. I'm your host, Sean with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Thank you guys so much again for another great showing here this week. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. Keep on enjoying this hobby we all love. And I hope to see you on the next coin video. So long, guys.